Coming up on today's edition of the Art Marketing Podcast, we're talking Q4 email preparation, and specifically why Q4 is important, some motivation perhaps, and then we're going to cover a grab bag of email prep that I want you to engage in ahead of the big holiday buying extravaganza. All right, following up on my Q4 bootcamp episode, I sort of alluded to the various different parts of an art business and how to get ready for Q4. So we have your website and your pricing and your email list and your social strategy and your lineup, etc. So my plan is to keep cranking out both podcast episodes, and I've been doing a ton of Instagram live broadcasts. So if you don't follow Art Storefronts on Instagram, you should. It is at art_storefronts. Just getting you ready and kind of going through all these various different silos of a creative business and how to think about them and what to do, strategies, tactics, tips, and everything else. And the whole thing got me thinking, this summer, did a family trip and we all went to Costa Rica. And that trip made me think that you guys as artists are kind of like elite surfers. There's a ton of surfing that goes on in Costa Rica. There's beaches everywhere. It makes sense, right? And what do those guys and gals do, the elite surfers? They train all year long. Not just to be in shape, but to be able to take care of their bodies and be ready for when the huge waves hits. And, the pros will not just surf, but they'll run and they'll lift weights and they cross train. Sometimes they ride bikes. They'll surf anytime there's waves. They'll train with weights in the pool, where they swim down to the bottom and pick up a weight or a rock. Sometimes they do it. They do breath exercises. They do long paddles with those huge paddle boards. They monitor their diets, abstain from smoking and drinking. Boarding, they will do the triathlon, the sauna, the cold plunge, the pool. And triathlon, I love saying that. They do all of this all year long. So when the weather reports come in that a monster swell is about to hit, they're ready to go. Now, could you imagine going through all that time, energy, and effort, and sweat, and abstaining from all the fun stuff, and then the weather reports start coming in for this monster swell, and they decide to just stay home, get a bunch of food from Costco, so the fridge is stocked, and then binge watch Lord of the Rings and then Harry Potter and completely miss the swell? And, of course not. That it would be insane. This is what they live for. This is what they train for all year long. And so too does the modern day creative, you guys, or should be, and you train all year long. You're doing all these posts on Instagram and you're creating more and you're sending emails and you're doing theaters and shows and you're capturing emails and you're documenting your process and you're learning about marketing and leveraging AI and all of these things. And the beautiful thing is, in the case of the surfers, they don't ever know when the swell is going to hit. You sort of just have to be ready to go when the waves come. In the case of you guys, the date is firmly ensconced in the calendar and it comes out yearly. It just makes our job quite a bit easier, right? Now, despite the pro athlete analogy, our job is not so demanding or tough. For most creatives, the default state of marketing is sadly sitting somewhere around, what is marketing again? Or, yeah, I made a social post. Is that what you mean? And the point is, the default state of consistent marketing for most creatives is at a level where it is not that difficult to elevate that level, okay? My customers aside, I see a ton of posts, how much you guys post, I see how much you email, I compare that to some of the biggest artists and photographers in the world, and the default level is nowhere near what it can be. So we got low-hanging fruit here. We can elevate this, and we just take whatever level that we're at currently, recognize that the big waves are coming, Q4 is coming, and elevate that level. That's all I'm asking for. It's just a little elevation, the level that you're normally at. And this is the one time of year when you owe it to yourself to take your marketing seriously. You've been creating all year, getting better at your craft, all the time, energy, and effort that you've expelled to create all of those things, to have those ideas, to get to those difficult locations to shoot, to be cold outside, all the things that you guys go through, all the time, energy, and effort to create those creations. This is the time of year when you need to be letting people know that both you and they exist and are for sale. And so my job is to give you the tools and strategies you need to do that. So let's get into it. And I want to start today talking about email. Email is, and will remain our most important marketing channel. And yes, I'm well aware that open rates have declined and it's not as good as it was used to, and way too many people send too much email, myself included. But the facts remain the facts. Email is either the most important or close to the most important marketing channel any creative business has. I look at all of the data. This is true time and time again. It just works. And really, it's the only channel in which we control the rules and we own the assets, and we can send whatever we want, whenever we want, in any quantity we want. And in sharp contrast, perhaps, to the socials, where you have to conform to their rules and the algorithm decides if anything gets seen and they can throttle you or shadow ban you or not show your post at any point in time. We control email. So we need to take our email list seriously, and especially this holiday season. So I want to start with some housekeeping, get into some, just a grab bag of things that I think will get you prepared and get you more excited and get you tuned in on how you need to be thinking about your email and what you need to be doing. So we want to start with the housekeeping, okay? Weekly on my webinars, you guys, I look at the little squares of faces on Zoom and I see a veritable cornucopia of faces staring back at me from all seasons of life, spanning the entire globe sometimes. And one question I love asking all of those faces and all of those folks is, do people know you are a working artist, photographer, creative, and that you have creations for sale? And I just asked that question point blank. Do people know? And as you can imagine, I often get met with like the digital grid of blank stares and awkward chuckles and somebody waiting for someone else to say something right or answer. And I put the question to you. How would you answer that question? Does everybody you know, interact with, come into contact with, know you are an artist, that you have incredible art on offer to sale or available for commission? And most of the times the answer is no. We need to fix that, okay? And no different when Halloween is coming, you guys. And, let's say when Halloween is coming. In my case, you have to go up into the rafters in the garage and get down those stupid clear Home Depot plastic buckets that have all the Halloween decorations in them. I like to start with that process. Before you're even decorating or thinking about that, in my Halloween analogy, go get the damn bin down and let's see what shape it's in, okay? And I think every single solitary creative artist, photographer needs to engage in this behavior. You got to do the housekeeping on your email. Call it the great email roundup. You can dedicate 1 or 2 hours to this and you're going to be dialed. You're going to be good to go. Export all the contacts from your phone. Pull all emails you have from PayPal, from Square, from Etsy, and any selling platform you've ever used. Check all your order forms, your commission requests, even sign-up sheets if you did any personal events. Mine your social media direct messages in any all capacity for any emails that you have. Search your sent folder for anyone who's ever inquired about your work. Are all of these people on one list, and do you have the ability to send those lists, right? To send to that list. And doing the housekeeping, if you're going to do it one time a year, it is before Q4. And I know in many cases, because I talk to my customers all the time, oh, yeah, you're right. I've got this here and I've got that. All of the things that you have, all of the emails that you have, and all of the places all need to be on one list. You've got to do the housekeeping. And by the way, for those of you that are just getting started and you're like, Patrick, I don't have a single solitary email on my list. Do all of the above with family, friends, work acquaintances, anybody and everybody from your email box. We'll get into the tactical on that in a minute, but it's totally okay on a yearly basis to send emails to those folks too. So it doesn't matter where you are in the game, if you're just getting started, if you're a mid-level artist, if you're really crushing and you have a big email list. The email housekeeping is so important. In my own marketing department, I do this all the time, and emails are always spread all over the place. I'm always forgetting about the housekeeping time. Take the bin down with the decorations. Get everything dialed in, okay? That's housekeeping. Got to do it. Next, I want to talk about email reply hacks. Very few people talk about it these days. It's sort of like not the darling. Everyone is always focused on Instagram. But just like Instagram, and if you listen to any of the previous episodes, what am I talking about? I'm talking about posting more personal content. Why? Because people like doing business with humans, friends, real human-to-human connection rather than human to a business. And it turns out email, okay, operates in the exact same way. You have the big email providers out there, right? You've got your Gmail and your Yahoo and your Hotmail and your Apple Mail and your Proton Mail. All of those big providers that 90% of the emails on your list likely are at gmail.com or at applemail.com or at apple.com or at Hotmail, Yahoo, etc. Even some old school AOL thrown in there for good measure. They all look at your reputation as a sender, and let's just say patricksart.com is my domain, and I'm sending email from patricksart.com. One of the primary metrics that those email providers look at is the rate at which people reply to your email. The higher the reply rate to the emails that you are sending is, the more likely your email is going to end up in the inbox and not the promotions tab. Gmail is the biggest provider. Most people understand what the promotions tab is. It means you're salesy. You don't want to be in it, right? Stated another way, to kind of build on the Instagram example, like, how many conversations are you, take it out of the art world, having with businesses? How often are you replying to promotional emails that are sent to you? Never. We never do that. You're always replying to the personal emails. So it stands to reason, if a machine, an algorithm, sees a bunch of your email getting replied to, it's going to say, hey, this is more a human than a business. Let's place these emails in the inbox. And by the way, if you don't think I practice what I preach on this, anyone that gets an email that's on the Art Storefronts list, okay, how many emails do we send? Way too much. Hit reply and see what happens. You will be replied to immediately. I have a team member dedicated, okay, on my marketing team to reply to every single solitary email that comes in. And the reason that I do that is, yes, that's an important relational tactic. It's respectful. It's the nice thing to do. But also, all I'm doing, he's doing all day long with all of those replies, is sending signals back to the email service providers that this is not a business. This is somebody that gets a ton of replies. Make sure their emails stay in the inbox. So this is a fantastic technique, tactic, practice to have. And by the way, it compounds. It compounds every which way imaginable. It compounds all the time when you do it. But if you get into a back and forth conversation, like you send an email, they reply, you reply to the reply, they reply, you reply back, that it compounds. Those signals get even stronger and stronger. It's amazing. Contemplate in some of your email that you're going to send between now, when the big sales are coming, your Black Friday, your Cyber Monday, all the sales that we're going to be advising you guys run in October and November. Contemplate asking for an email reply. It's really, really easy. Ask an open-ended question. Hey, what do you guys think about this? What do you think about that? Spend some time replying to everyone that replied. And I've been doing this for years. It's like brushing and flossing your teeth every night. Like, it's just good. It is just good hygiene. It's like weeding the garden, right? It's like lubing the bike chain. It keeps things and operating as a machine. So contemplate in all of the email that you're sending ahead of your Q4 sales emails. How can you ask some open-ended questions? How can you ask for replies? And how can you get in depth in this? And I'm going to do a couple of Instagram live broadcasts giving you all the tips and tricks, because I've got a million different ways to do it. This is a great one too, to ask ChatGPT or ask Claude, hey, here's my email copy. What would be a great way, based on this email, to get more replies? Paste that in. Boom. Or you could throw that into Art Helper too, and that'll help out a bunch. So very, very important. Next, I want to talk about friends and family and coworkers time. Okay, I got to tell a quick aside story, and then we'll get into the tactical. And this is just as important, by the way, for those of you that are just getting started and have no one on your email list as it for you that have 10,000 people on your list, or even 100,000 on your list. And the story is an insurance story. So right about the time, I'm the oldest of four, right about the time my youngest brother entered the workforce, I also had a buddy that was going through, he needed a career change. And so they both started working at this company at the same time. So my sample size on this was 2, right? They both get jobs selling life insurance. And it's with this huge, big, reputable company, one of the top 4 insurance companies in the United States, like huge, massive company. And do you know what you did in the first few weeks of employment if you got hired as a junior salesperson for this company? You sat down with your boss. Your boss said, pull out your cell phone. And you went through every single solitary contact you had in your phone book. And you wrote down their names, had their numbers, and you called them. And what was wild is my brother was fresh out of college. My buddy was 10 years older. The demographic of their friend groups was not the type of people that are buying insurance. 20-year-old and 30-year-olds are not really typically buying life insurance. So do you know who they called? They called their friends' dads. I mean, you guys, this was so cringe when it happened. We were like, my friend group was calling all of our dads. My buddy was like calling all of our dads, and we ripped him a new one about this. And my brother hated it so much, he like literally washed out of the job 2 weeks later. So it was a little cringe, yes. But you know what? They're one of the biggest insurance companies in the entire world. And it worked then, it works now, it always worked, okay? And that's an important takeaway. Like, there are certain techniques and tactics that are working. Thankfully, we can do so absolutely tastefully. I am not asking you to pull out your cell phone and individually call every single solitary contact you have and let them know you're an artist. What I am saying, though, is if you grabbed all of those emails, all the friends, all the family, all the coworkers, and you sent just one email, just one, BCC, put them all on it if you like, okay? Or you could send individual ones if you're a real go-getter. But BCC all of them and just say, hey guys, I am really taking my art career seriously this year. I'm going to have some huge sales coming up for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Just wanted to let all of you know, any support you could offer would be so dearly appreciated. I appreciate you all. Shut up, hit send on the email. Your friends, your family, your coworkers like you, okay? They are not aware in most cases that you're a working artist and that you have creations for sale. They love supporting their friends. Moreover, everybody feels called to support artists, okay? You guys need all the help you can get. Your peers, feel like we are supporting the arts. That is all extremely rewarding. And you know what else that whole group of friends and family has? A bunch of conversations with a bunch of people, and you're not in those conversations. And you know what the subject of some of those conversations are? I'm moving. We have to redecorate the lake house. I've got something going on here. I'm redoing a bedroom. I'm redoing a bathroom. You would be surprised at the serendipity that takes place when you engage in this technique. And it does not need to be more than one email. Just one email. Tell a little bit about your story. If you've got a website to link to, if you've got an Instagram account to link to, boom, you drop that, you send one email. You are officially allowed to do this worry-free, guilt-free, one time a year. One time a year. That's it. Okay. And you'll find too that the serendipity, if you actually do it and you just put everyone on a BCC, you will be amazed at how many of your friends respond and say, I had no idea. Oh my gosh, we should get drinks. I haven't checked in forever. Let's go get a lunch. Are you still going to church? Whatever questions they might ask, you'll get into some really fun conversations too. You're allowed to do this one time a year. Okay. I know it's a little terrifying, but just think about my poor brother and my buddy, who by the way still works at that insurance company, having to call their friends' dads and how cringe that was, okay? They got through it. This is not cringe. These are family and friends and people that love you, okay? They will be so glad to hear from you, and you're not going to do it 55 times. You're going to send one email. It's magic, you guys. They don't know you exist. They don't know you have creations for sale, and even if they do, they need to be reminded, okay? It is totally okay and respectful to do this one time a year. Next. Let's start capturing more emails. Can we do that? Why is it that every website that we sell at Art Storefronts all have lead capture built in standard and gets turned on day one? Because the number of emails that you have on your list is directly proportional to the revenue potential of that business. Always has been, always will be, okay? So let's start capturing more of them. 1, you need a website. 2, you need some lead capture on the website. Also, great time to run a contest. If you've never run a contest, a print giveaway, a merch giveaway, enter your email in the box. I've got very in-depth, detailed podcast episodes on this. By the way, I don't need to recover all the tactical, but if you're like, ooh, that sounds good, just search this podcast for contest, Q4 giveaway. I've got like 5 episodes in there to walk you through every step. But the point is, there's almost nothing as valuable as a new email that you capture ahead of the holiday buying season, because it means you're top of mind, right? The older an email is, they start to decay, but the brand new ones usually are your freshest leads. Those are the best, right? So this would be the time to get a contest, to get a giveaway, to get a charity thing, to do a local show or fair where you're capturing emails, because these emails are worth more this time of year than usually any other time all year long. So let's get capturing more emails. Next, frequency. It's time to up yours. And yes, I am talking about effective frequency, which I talk about all the time. The number of times an individual needs to be exposed to your art, your creations before they're ready to make a buying decision. That number is not one. We normally aim for 7 to 10 times until they're ready to make a buying decision. They need to see an email, and then they need to visit your website, and then they need to see an Instagram post, and then you see another email, and then you see a Facebook post, and then they need to get another email. That would be an effective frequency or 6 or 7, whatever it is. Then they're ready to buy. Right? So that's really, really important. But really what I'm talking about is upping the frequency and the amount of email that you send. None of you send enough. All of you are terrified to do it. Trust me, I know. It's not going to bother anybody. Excuse me, you guys. Everyone's email box is so damn full as it is. The likelihood of them seeing it is lower than it's ever been, which gives you permission to send more email than you ever have. This is such an easy way to level up. Okay, it's such an easy way to do it. If you've never sent any emails, start sending monthly. If you're sending monthly, start sending weekly. If you're sending weekly, start sending 2 times a week. And if you're sending 2 times a week, go up to 5 days a week. If this bothers you, okay, turn this podcast off right now. Go Google Gray Malin, okay? One of the best-selling photographers in the entire world right now. Go get on his email list and see what happens. Spoiler alert, you will get an email every single solitary day. Sometimes you might get 2 a day. That's a guy that's probably doing between $20 and $30 million in art sales every single solitary year. I wonder what he knows, right? You have permission to send more email than you think is okay. You just do. It just works. It's why so many businesses do it all the time. Send more email. Up your frequency. And look, I know it is very, very difficult, and you get in your head, and I couldn't possibly send him another email. I already sent him an email, and then you're going to look at the spam and unsubscribe rates, and you're going to have a panicker. I get how this goes, okay? I know. I've been doing this for too long. None of that matters. None of that matters. This time of year, you can up your frequency. You have to start doing this now because you need to get the effective frequency, the number of times they've been exposed to your art or photography. We need to get that number up ahead of when we're actually going to be announcing sales in October and November when everyone's buying. Okay? Up the frequency. Very easy way to level up. So you guys, housekeeping, email reply hacks, the friends and family and coworker time. Start capturing more emails and up the frequency. All of these are easy. Okay? I wanted to keep this episode nice and high level and easily doable, shippable, if you will. It's easy to take these steps, and it's just not something that you would normally do, that 99% of artists and photographers and creatives out there usually do. If you get going on this right now, and it's October 3rd when I'm recording, if you get going on this right now, before the melee starts, when everyone else is going to be doing the exact same thing, you are going to thank yourself. You are going to see results. You've got to operate under the assumption that the effective frequency is real, that nobody knows you are a creator with creations to sell, and that even if they do, they could stand to be reminded of it during the one time a year when they are most likely to purchase something from you. On that note, thanks for listening. And as always, have a great day.